Hi, this is Reg Athwal and welcome to Family Business Q&A, where I get a chance to gather various questions and input coming from our clients and community and leave you with some answers and tips. And what came up in the last 24 hours for me was, how do I make sure that I get hiring right at the C level? So this is from a family business owner saying, look, I want to make sure that I hire the right CEO slash future managing director for one of my businesses. How do I get this right? See, most of the time we get it wrong. We leave hiring to random chance. It's like flipping a coin 50-50. 50% of the people that you hire make it, 50% of the people you hire don't make it. And it's shocking, and it doesn't matter what tools you're using or what type of interview style that you have or how you do things. The stats are horrific around the world of how many times we get it wrong. So how do we create more accuracy? So the first thing to maybe consider to answer that question is get clarity on what you want to achieve for your business for the long term. Every business goes through different cycles. Are we talking about a role which is early stage, fast growth in the cycle? Has it achieved maturity maybe? Maybe it needs a bit of a turnaround, or it could be bleeding right now. It needs transformation. What stage is it at in its business cycle and its journey as a company? Because that will determine what type of profile, what type of leadership profile that you will require for that particular business. See, some people could be really good with numbers and finances and investments and doing the right things, making the right decisions on the financial side. But when there's a turnaround required or brand new products or services need to be created, you may end up with the wrong fit. Equally, what's the size of the business in terms of employees, revenues, and so on? You get really good leaders that be very good at taking the business from startup to $5 million, and then after that, they really can't take the business to the next stage. You've got others who are brilliant at taking the business from 5, maybe up to about $30 million, and then that's it. And then you've got people who are fantastic at looking after businesses and helping them grow, reach more maturity in the future, and take them to 100, 200, 300, even $500 million a year in revenues. And then you've got those few C-level people that know absolutely how to handle $1 billion plus organization. Very different to the $5 million CEO. So think about those things. Where are you at right now? What are you trying to achieve in the next 5 years? And based on those growth plans, you may require a different type of fit, someone with different type of experience. And it's really important that the shareholders, the stakeholders, the directors, the owners of the company have alignment of what that 5-year plan looks like. What is the vision? What are the key things that need to be done over the next 5 years? And what will this key senior position be responsible for? The amount of times I've gone into boardrooms or sat down with the owners of a business or the board, and they're about to hire someone in the future, and they have not got alignment of what the next 5 years is going to look like. So if we don't know what the next 5 years is going to look like, and we hire this person today, there's a good chance that whatever results they achieve, there could be a gap with your interpretation of success and their interpretation of success. And therefore, you're going to have issues when it comes to the performance review at the end of that first year or earlier, within the first 6 months, or maybe even within the first 90 days. So please be clear on, what does the 5-year plan look like? What are key things that need to happen? I recommend on a one sheet, have 5, maybe maximum 8, 9 things listed clearly of what must happen during that 5-year period. And most importantly, out of that list, what's the one thing that you are not prepared to compromise on, that this senior position, this C-suite executive needs to give you in the first 12 months? Make it measurable, link it to the numbers somehow, so it's very clear, black and white, what needs to be achieved. So those would be a couple of tips there. Other things to consider is in the first 90 days, what problems need to be solved. Sometimes we don't consider what are the immediate things that this person needs to overcome. What are some of the hurdles? Maybe there's certain members in the team that may not buy into this person day one. So is this person going to be aware of their personalities and say, hey, you've got this particular individual in the company, this is their personality, these are some of the issues that you're going to have, how would you go about handling that? Very important question. But we can only Ask that intelligent question of how you would handle it if we documented it in the first place, what those big problems and challenges will be from day one that they need to overcome. Because if they're not successful in their first 30 days, you can kiss goodbye to 90 days. And if you don't achieve success in 90 days, we're already off target of what this person needs to achieve. And what's the cost of the company? We've researched this with our group company, RTS Global Partners, over the years, advising hundreds of family businesses, that at a mid to senior level position, you're talking a minimum of salary and benefits and allowances, the total remuneration times 5. If you get it wrong and that person doesn't give you the results in the first 12 months, it's cost you all of that monetary side times 5 based on relationships, employees, the culture, external suppliers. There's so many touch points, the brand, visibility of saying that this is our senior person in the company, and suddenly they don't make it. And there's research done by very large executive search firms for listed companies where if you've got a C-level person that doesn't work out, the impact could be remuneration times 25. That's huge. So you can't afford to get this wrong. We need to get it right. Don't leave it to random chance, and make sure that everybody is involved in this process and takes it seriously. A couple of other tips I want to leave you with if you've got clarity now for what you're looking for and what those short-term problems and hurdles are that they need to overcome. When you're interviewing people, don't get married with the CV. People can put together the best bio in the world. You should see all the stuff on LinkedIn right now and how many people are approaching me every day. I'm sure some of you are getting the same. So, don't get married to the CV. Make sure that you go much deeper in understanding what have been their most significant achievements and accomplishments to date. What have they actually achieved? And have they got an upward trend in their career? Have they been promoted multiple times? How long have they been in one company, or are they just moving around? Once they reach a certain level, they move on again. Dig deep into the resume. Don't go by what's there. At the end there, it's a good marketing document for most people, and over 70% of CVs have something in the CV that where one's massaged the truth, or it's incorrect, and it's false. So we've got to go deep in checking that information out. The next thing I would say is, if you're really, really clear on what you want the person to deliver, define success. Don't just have basic skills or duties, responsibilities going by a job description. Create a proper performance profile or a talent profile, and be clear on what are the deliverables, what are the actual results that you want by hiring this person. And then you've got to get really good at asking the right questions during the interview process, which is making sure we understand, have they actually done this before or not? In what environment? What budget did they have? What were the challenges that they had? Go deep in asking the right questions, and then also look at the future. Is if they get this job, where will they start? How will they go about doing this in the first week, the first month, the first 3 months? And get clarity on their thought process and intelligent levels of how they're actually going to do this. So these are a few things to consider. The last bit, which I'm not going to cover in this short episode today, is around DNA profiling, which is what our group company has been doing for 19 years with tens of thousands of people, is to make sure you've got some sort of profiling tool to understand truly what their natural talents are. And you could also link this with psychometric tools to understand their personality, because you've got to make sure that the dynamics are going to be good. You could have one individual with a great track record. They can definitely deliver these potential results. Everything is good, but if they join your team, the dynamics may not be right with the other people that you've got in the organization. There could be some fireworks. There could be some people that are not going to be aligned. There could be a power play that happens with certain people. So the last bit would be to use some sort of tool. You could use people like us. There's lots of other companies around the world, online tools as well, to make sure that you understand their final profile. So those are just a few tips for today based on what somebody was asking me this week around hiring a senior person in their organization. And one last question, linked to that came up was around the existing person in the organization in that role. Should you keep them, and in parallel you're looking for the new person? And the question I asked this individual was, if that person wasn't here tomorrow morning because you're clear that you want to replace them, you want to bring in somebody new, what would happen? if that person wasn't here tomorrow morning, what would happen is the people in the organization can look after things as a team while you're now looking for the new person. Why is this important? Because if you're hiring a new person, you're getting involved in the interviews, that could also have an impact on what's happening with the existing person in the organization. That may not be a good thing. Also, if others are involved in the organization as part of the interview process, you could end up with the wrong influences or influencing the new potential candidate in the wrong way with what's currently happening in the culture. And that's not a good way of starting the entire hiring process and making sure the person hits the ground running from day one. So just consider that. Should you do it in parallel? Because of knowledge, relationships with people, a proper handover needs to be done, and you've decided that's the best route, or no, create the exit now, create that gap immediately, let others look after what needs to be done, have a fresh start with the new person who's potentially going to come in and not having that handover. So that's something strategically, looking at risk and other things that you need to consider as a final thought. So on that note, don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you're new to our channel. There's many other shows that we've got on our channel as well. Go and check them out. Hit the like button, helps us with the algorithm to reach more people. Additionally, leave your comments as well. And don't forget to come back and watch some more of our shows. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Bye for now.